aí, minha gente, estamos aqui com a terceira entrevista da nossa série de exclusivas com os artistas do Bangers Open Air, o maior e mais querido, mais amado festival de metal aqui no Brasil. Essa semana a gente está falando com a banda Seven Spires. Se você não conhece, com certeza deveria conhecer, e a entrevista vai passar muito por isso, por formas de você conhecer e entender um pouco mais a respeito dessa banda, que vai tocar num dos palcos menores do Bangers Open Air, mas nem por isso a gente diria que é um dos shows menos importantes. Pelo contrário, para mim, aqui, eu, pessoa física, te digo, top 3 shows que eu mais quero assistir na edição 2026, mas disparado. Nos vocais está ninguém menos do que a Adrienne Cowan. Adrienne Cowan, você deveria se lembrar dela como aquela multifacetadíssima voz que toca no canta, né, no Avantasia com o Tobias Sammet, que o Tobias Sammet inclusive chama de canivete suíço vocal, porque ela canta limpo, ela canta operístico, ela canta com drive, ela canta gutural, a mulher faz tudo. E ela teve recentemente aqui no Brasil, no final do ano passado, no show especial do Edu Falaschi com o Roy Khan. Ela acompanhou o Roy Khan no set especial dedicado ao The Black Halo e também cantou em algumas músicas com o Edu na íntegra do Temple of Shadows que ele cantou. Enfim, Seven Spires, um show imperdível e uma entrevista igualmente sensacional que não dá para perder. Você já deu play? Segue agora que começa a entrevista já!
Actually, I have to start with this because I'm very curious about it. Why did you decide to do a group interview, actually? Because usually when I talk to bands, they prefer to have a single spokesperson. But honestly, I think it's really much more cooler this way to get a sense of the dynamic between you all.
Well, nobody really asked for just one person. So usually, like we tend to do a lot of group interviews, and unless somebody asks us explicitly for to speak with one member. So, but you're right. It does allow for quite a fun dynamic. I think we tend to have a lot of fun in these interviews. So.
For me, it's amazing, actually. Yes, because I think 90% of the times people usually focus on the frontman or frontwoman, you know? Well,
But to be honest, I mean, I agree with you. But I remember, I mean, even still, when I like to watch interviews with the bands that I'm a fan of, or when I was younger and was really into, um, I don't know, watching My Chemical Romance interviews, it was, of course, it's always cool to watch, you know, the singer or the main writer or whoever is like the person in the band talk about their art. But for me, it was always way, way, way cooler to see, as you said, the dynamic and the friendships, or hear different perspectives on the same question. So, yeah, it's actually really cool that we could all make it. Doing crazy stuff. So, yeah.
for the whole Brazilian fans actually who already know Adrienne's performances here with Avantasia and more recently with Edu Falaschi and Roy Khan, what does Seven Spires bring that's different musically speaking for these fans that already had the opportunity to see you live?
Blast beats.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I was there before with Avantasia and with Edu and Roy. But it is the first time that I get to bring my Spires family, and therefore it's the first time that I actually get to show my full true self artistically to Brazil. And I've been talking about these shows that I played previously in Brazil to these guys for years. So I think I know the Brazil's for sure not going to disappoint. I know it's going to be amazing. Yeah. You guys want
And actually, I have to admit, because your show is easily one of my top 3 most anticipated shows at Bangers Open Air, along with Primal Fear and Feuer Schwanz, actually. But when I try to recommend you guys to a friend, I struggle to put you into a single box. It's a power metal band, a symphonic metal, a death metal. Oh my God, I don't know. Can you define Seven Spires in just one word or maybe a single metal subgenre, for example?
I don't think so. Um, I think it takes at least two words, but I'm actually curious what everybody else thinks about that. I think one of the big things is that we are inspired by multiple things in a way that creates one thing. So I think it is kind of hard to categorize it into such a small box.
If I had to pick one word, I would say theatrical. Two words, dark theatrical. Um, Before I met any of these guys, when I was making demos alone in my apartment at like 17, 18 years old, um, I wanted to make a dark theatrical metal band. And unfortunately, like you can't really go out into the world proclaiming yourself as a theatrical metal band without that having certain connotations. Um, which may or may not fit us, but I don't think that it's truly all encompassing. Even to say, okay, yeah, we're a symphonic metal band. Technically, yeah, we play metal and there's a symphonic elements to it, but even that also has certain connotations. And I, I mean, I've been saying this. I think we all have been saying this since the beginning. Just because it's symphonic metal does it mean that like Nightwish and Flesh God Apocalypse sound the same? I don't think even that is fitting enough. So yeah, I'm also curious what Jack or Dylan would say.
So I would say it's a very kind of it's symphonic metal, but with heavy progressive and technical influences thrown in. I feel like it's a very kind of it takes you on a journey. Like every song kind of has stands on its own individual storytelling and how dynamic the overall presentation is with all the songs that are within a given set list that we build. Um, it's one that really kind of tugs a lot of emotions, but also kind of you can relate to the lyrics quite easily with your own experience. And it creates this kind of unique thing that that's uh I'd say that's very kind of spires within a Seven Spire show, I'd say.
Yeah, I guess to bring it all home back to the original question of if we could describe it in one word or two words or something like that, my answer would just be hopefully no.
That's good. I like that way too. That's good.
Yeah,
And actually,
if I could add something, I think all of us are quite. We're not people that tend to be really into one genre of music, and I don't think we think about music ourselves as like I only like this type of metal, or I only like metal, or I only like you know this variety of things. I don't think we categorize it the same way as some other people might. So.
good. And actually, another friend of mine, also a music journalist, actually told me that he thinks your sound actually breaks down barriers between different metal niches because of how diverse it is. It works for those who like more melodic metal, but also for those who like their metal much more heavier. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah. Actually, one of my favorite compliments that we've gotten over the years is you guys are how I got into metal, or you guys are how I got into blast beats and extreme vocals, or you guys are the reason that I actually started listening to power metal because I only liked death metal before or something. Uh, so yeah, I think it's absolutely true that we break down genre barriers, pushing making art without limits or creating and also consuming art without limits. And I think that's just an integral part of who we all are as people and who we are as a collective creative entity. Yeah.
I have one difficult question, and I think that it's difficult for a band as a whole. For those who are not familiar with Seven Spires yet, could you sum the band in three of your essential songs? Three songs to get on Seven Spires sound.
Is this like the answer changes based on who you're like if we're trying to make a new band and I know that they like a certain band or a certain group of bands, then I might suggest a different set of songs. But if it's like personally, I feel that these three songs represent us the best. That's the question.
Yes,
Should
I
we
know it's difficult.
I'll give mine and then maybe somebody disagrees or has different answers. I would say This God Is Dead, Love Souvenir, maybe Silvery Moon? Something like Silvery Moon or Sakal? It's hard. It's hard. Okay, somebody else answer.
This is a hard one. I mean, like no matter what three songs we choose, there will be some missing, I think. So for me, oh God, it's like uh, I agree with This God Is Dead. I think maybe like Dream Chaser is a good one. Um, and then oh God, and then let's say like Almost Town or Almost Town slash Fall With Me. Yeah, I'm trying to think of ones that are very potent in certain directions, because there's a couple of different categories as you've mentioned.
Fall With Me is a good one actually because it's so unlike sonically, it's so unlike most of our material, but at
Yeah.
its core, in the heart of everything, it actually deeply sums up so much of all of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Jack or Dylan or both.
They're pointing one at each other.
Yeah, maybe Don't Stop Believin', Thriller, and Smoke on the Water. No, it's really hard to pick just a handful because part of the fun in all of it is doing songs that are so unbelievably different from each other and then trying to make that fit into one package. So I think it would be better to like throw a dart at a wall and find a title of something that seems cool to you and then get surprised by what it actually sounds like. Maybe if you're trying to hear us for the first time.
Feels like the answer always changes, but This God Is Dead, a Love Souvenir for sure. And then I would throw in Unmapped Darkness because that is a very fun song to play.
Yeah, true. Also has a bit more of like our modern tendencies. What I will say about This God Is Dead is that's the song that when we were looking for a new drummer many years ago, this was the song that was the audition because
Mhm.
it encompasses more or less kind of all of our sounds. Not all, but that's a pretty good representation of like if you're gonna play drums in this band, you need to have these skills. You need to be crazy enough to like perfect how long is it? Like a 9-minute song? It has many, many different sections. It's quite a long form. Uh but if you're like, let me introduce you, buddy, to this band that you've never heard, it's kind of challenging to be like, can you sit through 9 minutes of a band you don't know? And also, like, are you ready to face some of your some of the shadows in your soul? Because yeah, it's just a lot. And for some people that's the right amount, and for some people it maybe takes a little time to warm up before we're ready to jump into something like that.
We're talking about your songs. Each one of you pick up a little bit of your song. So I have to ask you, what are your plans for the Bangers Open Air show? What can we expect from your set list? Any surprises at all, for example? If you told me there, it will not be a surprise actually, but you understand my question.
Yeah.
Especially because it's our first time in Brazil, and first time in South America in general, and it being a big festival with a lot of people who probably don't know us, or haven't seen us yet or anything like that. It's usually our plan is to like kind of do a best of and span a wide range of our discography, make sure we hit the singles, but also a couple of deep cuts, and just kind of give everybody a smorgasbord of what we're about, and hope that we, pull them into the next time that we come to something. So it's the spray and pray, I guess, is the term if you're a video game player.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Well, the first pass is usually, here's why you should care about us. And then the second pass is usually like, now that you're here, let's show you around some more. And also still like, yeah, of course, we can't not play songs. But it's always fun. When we return to the beloved territories, it's always fun to reward, yeah, our fans and also ourselves with like things that we don't normally get to play.
With that being said, since it is a Seven Spires show, there are surprises, but we can't tell you what they are.
Okay, good. My last question is, your latest album, Fortress Called Home, actually came out in 24, actually, and I have to say it's an amazing record. Fantastic. Congratulations. Are there already any plans for the next one?
Oh, yes. Working very hard writing music and going back and forth on strategy and tour ideas and album art ideas and stage production ideas, wardrobe, music videos. Everything's in the not exactly natal stages, but we're in like crazy creative mode right now, and it's super, super exciting. And I'm really excited with how things are turning out so far. But at the same time, we're also preparing to go on tour in just a couple of weeks with Roy as his support band and his backing band. So while we're going crazy, writing our parts, doing orchestrations, checking if the drums fit the bass, fit the guitars, fit the vocal, blah, 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 we're also like, okay, we got to shed. How long is it? Like in total, probably like an hour and 45 of music, including his set and our set. Try to get our endurance up, make sure that our bodies are ready to play 2 shows a night for, I don't know, 4.5 weeks. So, yeah. And especially the South American part of this tour is going to be crazy because we play in Greece, then we fly to Sao Paulo, and then we fly to, is it Santiago first?
Yes.
We fly to Santiago, and then we land, we play. The next day we fly to Buenos Aires.
Mm-hmm.
We land, we play, and then we fly to Apollo. And that is our rest day, flying day. And then we play Bangers open air, the party, and then we play, and then we play as Roy's band, and then after that we fly again back to Norway. So we're definitely in creative and conditioning mode. Yeah, and it's a lot, but it's
looking at the calendar, it's like it's actually only 10 show days and over like 4 weeks, so we're actually going to be on planes more than we're going to be on stage.
If we could describe being a musician in one word, it would, or one sentence, it would be that: being on planes more than being on stage.
That's for sure. Guys, thanks a lot. I'll be there to watch your show, and of course, I'm 100% certain that will be amazing.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, and see you there.
Thank you. We look forward.
Ah, lembrando, hein? O Bangers Open Air acontece nos dias 25 e 26 de abril no Memorial da América Latina, aqui em São Paulo. O link para compra dos ingressos, que ainda estão à venda, estão quase esgotando, hein? Mas estão aí, ainda tem alguns ingressos à venda. O link para compra dos ingressos está aqui na descrição do vídeo. A gente se vê lá.